Oh, welcome. Solar Plexus Day. This is by far my favorite day, probably because it is one of the first places that I really did a lot of my own growth was in the solar plexus area. So we'll talk about really what that means. If you are joining live, hello, welcome. Feel free to type in and let me know who is here. And even on the replay, feel free to comment and say hi. Lovely to see you. Hello, hello. All right, so solar plexus. Yesterday, we talked a lot about the sacral plexus, and each day we've kind of been going over a little tip or trick you can do to balance that chakra. And for the journaling exercises, those will be unique to each chakra, but there are certain things that will definitely overlap. For example, when we went into the self Reiki yesterday, that can absolutely be done for this one too. So if you haven't gotten a chance to watch yesterday or the day before, we have root chakra and sacral. Definitely catch up on those, but you don't need to watch them in any order at all. I'm excited to have you here, whether you're live or on the replay. Welcome. So my name is Melissa. I work with people to really develop and enhance their intuition so that they can make the best decisions for themselves, whether that's knowing what to do for their own health or their own healing modalities, or really like, should I buy this house? It can be anything that's going on in your life that's causing you to have a stress. Intuition just kind of helps you get right to the heart of what the issue is so that you can essentially save more time in your day, giving you back up to like 2 hours a day because we're not wasting it on decision fatigue and draining our energy. So really, I like to work with intuition. But then, of course, if you know me and we've worked together, you know that goes into a whole array of other things, including self-confidence. So, solar plexus. This is all on our own self-confidence. The past 2 days, we've already done the brief overview of the chakras, so I'm not going to go over it again. I'm going to go over it again. I really like to go over it real quick, just in case you're new. So we have our crown chakra at the top. This is our connection to spirit. Then we have third eye. This is our own inner guidance, our intuition, which I do really love, and that's what I mainly teach. And then throat. Can we speak? Can we articulate? Can we get our voice out to be heard? Heart, compassion. So one of the reasons I just had the thought to go over this again is the solar plexus has a lot to do with the heart center. Solar plexus is on confidence. We can't really feel confident if we don't love ourselves. So that comes into the heart center. So this is all about our boundaries. Healthy, unhealthy boundaries can sit here. Self-love, compassion, love for others, all of that is from the heart. And then one layer down, can't see me on the camera, but so then we have the heart up here, and then around your belly button is the solar plexus. That's what we're going to talk about today. Seat of your own confidence, personal power, really. It's the seat of who you are at a soul level. So kind of cool. And then from there, we did the sacral yesterday, which was one-on-one relationships, and then creativity, expression that way. And then root chakra, which was our safety. So remember, if you're feeling unsafe in the world, you're not alone. And go watch the root chakra video, which will all be about safety, security, and family connection. All right. So throughout this, if you have any questions ever, definitely type them in, especially in the replay as well. I'll check the comments. So just let me know what comes up for you. But the solar plexus, I really wanted to go over. This is for you if you have trouble feeling, really, if you just have trouble feeling happy on a day-to-day basis, or if you find you have a lot of negative self-talk. So maybe you do something really good and meaningful or fun, but then your inner dialogue starts to get to you and kind of takes you down a few pegs. So this isn't necessarily anything wrong with you. We're designed, we talk about this a lot in the meditation course, we are designed to think 6 negative thoughts for every 1 positive. Just in an evolutionary sense, we find something good, and then can we look for danger around it? But since we're not really drinking at watering holes and looking for lions anymore, now it's kind of updated to, oh, I did 1 positive thing. Let me think of 6 negative things around that. So I'm letting you know this so that you don't think anything is wrong with you if you do have a negative dialogue. Super common, super normal, and super simple to shift. So in the belief change work, we do that a lot, but we'll have more journal exercises today. So on your own, you can start to shift these beliefs to a more positive place as well, which will tone down that inner dialogue, the negative inner dialogue, and replace it with a more positive, very self-love, confident dialogue. So when we get into the seat of who we are, and I talk a lot about all the change work we do isn't necessarily to change anything about you. It's not to change who you are, but more it's uncovering what's keeping you from being who you are. So down in the seat of your solar plexus, and the way I see it when I do Reiki sessions, I'll do a chakra scan and I can kind of see in and I'll see a version of the person I'm working with. And maybe they're like behind walls or they have curtains drawn. Maybe some people are just getting into their confidence and I'll like see them opening up the shades. It's a little bit different per person. But really what it's saying is inside the solar plexus really is who you are at your core without any of the trauma, any of the stress, any of the social beliefs that have been imprinted on you. Right? We pick up these different beliefs and principles and ideas from childhood, and then we kind of carry them with us. And it can create these limiting factors in our life, such as I'm not good enough, I'm not liked, I don't have value. Value is huge. Self-value. And so maybe we value other people, and maybe on a certain level, we might even value our own work. Like, oh, I did this, I wrote this book, I think it's really good, but I'm too scared to put it out in the world because nobody will like it. And then what if somebody judges me? What if somebody sees I did work and they judge me? So this comes up a lot with a solar plexus being a little bit off balance. And so then when we try to bring it back into balance, and what that would look and feel like is unique to you, it would be you in a happy, confident place. If you haven't ever felt that confidence, it might be kind of seem intangible or hard to think about what that would be like. But if you could just show up as yourself, and there's actually let's do a little exercise. So have a seat, be interactive. And if you're walking or listening to this elsewhere, it's fine. You can keep walking and imagine, and not in any kind of scary way, but just imagine the most beautiful nature setting that you could, whether you're in the forest, a field of flowers, on a beach, on a mountain, anywhere that is your most beautiful nature surrounding. And take a really deep breath in through your nose. Open up your mouth, make a sigh. And then we're going to do that one more time. But on the exhale, I want you to draw your belly button a little bit in toward your spine. I'm in a blanket. So you're going to draw your belly button in toward your spine and then touch your tongue to the roof of your mouth as you breathe out. So this is kind of drawing your energy in, pushing it up. Take a deep breath in. On your exhale, draw your belly button to your spine, contract your core, and touch your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Breathe everything out. Perfect. This breath calms down the body. Do one more time. Full breath in. Belly button to your spine, tongue to the top of your mouth. Breathe out. Good. And now imagining that you have that little slide from your head all the way down to your heart. Take a deep breath in. And sigh, release, relax. Out. And now you're back to that place wherever feels good for you in nature. And imagining if there was nobody else around, social media didn't exist, your family's opinions of you didn't matter, you are happy and content just as you are. You don't need your opinions. There's no text waiting. You don't have a phone. And again, not in a bad way that no one's there. Just what if it was just you? How would you feel about yourself if there was nobody who could judge, see, criticize, praise? If you were just you, how would you feel about yourself? So this exercise can be telling in a few different ways. So maybe you realize underneath all of that, you actually would be okay and happy. And so then it's about, how do I cultivate that into my normal daily life? How do I keep that confidence? How do I keep that security even when I'm around others. And or maybe on the other side, you got to the place of, well, I don't know if I would still like myself. And that's okay. We just have a little bit more work to do. So starting to uncover the root of why, like when we're children and we're born, and especially babies, they don't think they need to be deserving to get food. They just cry and demand, and they're like, I need the food. Somebody's going to give me the food and the love because I am innately deserving of being cared for. And then somewhere along the way, we lose that. So looking at where do we lose that and how do we get it back? And so you don't need to necessarily remember all the way back to when you were 3 years old, but just starting to look at, how could I value myself more? What are the choices I'm making? What are the situations I'm putting myself in where I'm giving away my own power? So another way that this comes into play that a lot of people don't notice is it feels really nice to get praise or validation or compliments sometimes. And sometimes it doesn't. When I started, I was so uncomfortable if somebody complimented me. It made me want to run to a different country. And I did often. And so that might be a place to work from too, is just allowing and accepting the compliments and that they may be real. But then even from there, once you start to get external validation or compliments, we can feed into that and say, oh, well, I know I have value because XYZ person told me that I did. But what if XYZ person changed their mind? Then your value is still being placed on what somebody else, an external factor, thinks of you, versus it coming innately from within. And when it comes from within, then even if this person does value you, cool, but it doesn't actually affect anything you feel about yourself. You're just like, oh, hey, thanks. Well, that's really nice. You're a nice person. But it doesn't change anything of who you are. Versus you kind of feeling low and this person says, hey, you did a really great job. And you're like, oh, well, I guess now I have permission to feel okay. Then somebody else comes and says, oh, I didn't really like what you did there. And you go right back down. Does this make sense? So it's really important to get that from inside in that exercise where you kind of black out the whole world, all of social media, and just sit with yourself. And that's why meditation is such a big thing for my students and for the people that I work with. When we get to that inner quiet place, it begins to remove the trauma from your past, and it removes the stress from your right now, and it removes the stress from our future, which is anxiety. I didn't realize this would be a meditation talk, but meditation really can be the foundation of your own inner healing. And if you're like, oh, I didn't sign up for meditation, just give me some journal prompts. They will be coming. Can 2x this? It'll go a little bit faster. But meditation can be one of the most powerful ways to get to that inner healing and get to that raised level of self-confidence. Because the more we quiet down, we begin to just sit with who we are. We begin to notice actually who we are without all the external. We just feel into it every single day. And from there, you begin to develop this relationship with yourself. And once you put in the time and the effort that you're taking time for yourself every day to meditate or whatever it is you're choosing to do, on a subconscious level, you're choosing to prioritize yourself, which is huge for developing that self-value. Massive. Because we tend to put all of our things, especially maybe if you identify as woman, you are taught and told and conditioned a little bit to put everyone else's needs above yours. And so you might think of yourself as a really kind, compassionate, loving person. And I'm sure that you are. I don't think we would be in the same world together if you weren't a great person. But when we put all of that out there and we forget about ourselves, we become drained. Because instead of giving from a place of, I feel good about myself and I have extra to give, instead we're giving from a place of, I'm not enough. And so to make myself enough, I need to give. And I need to be of service, and I need to put everyone else above me. And the more that we put others above ourselves, the more our power gets drained, and then we get exhausted, and we get burned out. And there's different ways people can go. I'm prone to depression. Some people are more prone to anxiety. Sometimes I get both. And you may experience both, but a lot of this comes from, are we coming from a place of not enough? Or are we coming from that really solid grounded place of, I am enough no matter what? And because I feel so good about myself, I have extra to help someone else. Does this make sense? So you can still prioritize other people, but yourself first. And whether it's a daily meditation practice or even you taking the time on this video counts as prioritizing yourself for your own confidence. This counts, and it will get in your subconscious mind that you are prioritizing your own healing, your own self-worth, and this counts. Anything you can do for yourself. Yesterday's video talked a lot about passions and creativity and getting back to the art and the crafts and whatever it is you love, whether it's gardening, painting, writing a book, anything, staring at your trees. It's my hobby. This is prioritizing yourself. It's like a meditation in another way. It matters. So if you have done any of these things this week, congratulate yourself. You are on the right path for sure. Absolutely. So on a more tangible level, how do we actually begin to change these limiting beliefs? So we're meditating, we're doing something that we love, maybe not necessarily every day, but we're beginning to prioritize ourselves. This works. And the more you do that, the more you're innately going to raise your own self-worth, which will change your self-confidence. It might be slow going. So if you need faster help, definitely reach out. That's entirely what we do in the belief change process. Just immediately do a belief that you're confident and boom, you'll feel a little bit different. That chakra will be cleared of anything you don't need at that time and your vibration will raise. Really cool process. So that is available to you if you want. If you want to work on it on your own, amazing. This is a great way to go too. So you're going to work on what beliefs are fitting for you. So you could do the statements such as, I am confident, very straightforward. I love myself. Or I love myself unconditionally is popular. When I say popular, what I see come up in sessions a lot that a lot of people gravitate towards. You could do, I know that I am value. I know that I have value, and I know others value me. These are really good ground level ones to work with. And I am enough for right now, and I am enough for the life I'm calling in. If you're working on manifesting or changing your life. If you're happy with your life on the whole and you just can't seem to get out of a depression loop, then you're just doing, I am enough. I am enough. So write these down, and what you can do is repeat them first thing in the morning. As soon as you wake up, we've talked about the brain states in other videos and in the meditation course. And when you're in a deep sleep, you're in delta. When you start to wake up out of sleep, you're in theta, which is where our subconscious mind is impressionable. So if you go over these belief statements first thing in the morning, like you pop open your eyes and you go, oh yeah, I have to do my statements. I am enough. And you sit there and you feel, what would it feel like to feel like I am enough? And even if you can't match the feeling exactly, it doesn't matter. What matters is you're looking for that feeling. And so that's telling your brain, your reticular activating system, to look for more of the same. And it will start to imprint it as a subconscious belief. And then the reticular activating system is really cool because once we put our attention on that, it's going to look for it more throughout the day. So you'll start to notice more situations that may already be in your field and you're just not noticing, of where you do feel enough, of situations you can feel valued. And you'll see them from a different perspective, which is really fun. So first thing in the morning while you're still in theta, you're going to be saying your statements. I am enough. I have confidence. I love myself unconditionally. I value myself. I know others value me and my work. Any of the above would be amazing for the solar plexus. I am energized and happy. It's another really good one. So the plexus also, we've talked about how when we don't prioritize ourselves, when we don't value ourselves, we're leaking all this energy to other people. So once you do pull that back and you give from a place of more empowered place, you're going to just start to cultivate so much energy in your body. So it's coming from this energized place. So that can definitely be one of your statements. And so after theta, so we're super groggy, just woke up. theta brainwaves. Once you feel more alert, you're more into the alpha, maybe even beta. If you get up right away and you start work or, really go, you're going to right up to beta, which is a more thinking, logical state. But anytime you're in that theta, super sleepy. So at the end of a meditation, this is another reason meditation is really good. And this will help to imprint those beliefs. There's actually a free, if you go to my website, it should just pop up like, hey, here's a free meditation. There's a free chakra healing meditation where you go through every single chakra. And at the end of that, there's not a place for it, but at the end of it, you will be in that theta zone. And what you can do is practice your beliefs then too. So you'll want to be going over these daily for about a month if you aren't working with me. If you want to just imprint them immediately, we can do a session and just boom, get them done for you. But it doesn't mean that's the only way to do it. It's probably the fastest and the most fun, easiest way, I think. I'm a little biased. It's what I love to do. But you can definitely imprint them yourself as well. It will just take a little bit of time. So give yourself that time. And remember, even when you're spending that time on yourself, doing the beliefs, even if you feel like, oh, this isn't working, that you're taking the time for yourself is still going to raise that value because you're prioritizing yourself. Does this make sense? You can feel free to let me know. So let's do a little recap really quick. Solar Plexus. Our color is yellow. So if you are doing the Reiki meditation we talked about yesterday, you're just going to be imprinting the color yellow. So same in day 4 of the meditation course, we talk about how to do it more in depth. And you'll just stream the color yellow for that with the intention that it's for solar plexus. Now, solar plexus really is the seat of our power, who we are at a soul level would be if we didn't have trauma and stress in our lives. And now we are not doing this work to get to a place of never having stress, because we're humans. We come here for a little bit of the drama. We talked about that more yesterday too. We kind of like the drama a little bit, and whether you look at it as lessons or whatever, there's always going to be this roller coaster of good and then maybe not so good times, and then really good and then maybe not so good times. And it's okay and it's normal, right? It's a cycle. So it's not necessarily just going up and down. What's really happening is you're like, whoo, raising your vibration each time you go through one of those lessons, right? And so it's a cycle. So we're not doing this so that you never experience stress. We're doing it so when you do experience stress, you experience it from a more whole place, from more balanced, and it doesn't knock you completely off. It's a big difference. I used to get stressed and then lay in bed for like months. And now I'll get stressed and maybe be off for like a day instead of months. Just huge. So you're doing it to get to this place where you can move through the challenges a lot easier. And when we're talking about solar plexus, once we get to that place of higher confidence and self-love, prioritizing ourselves, maybe we meditate, maybe we don't, maybe we work on our hobbies, maybe we're watching this video, perfect. Doing something for yourself, then we can show up if we want to for others and give from a more full place. Does this make sense? I hope so. So you're going to do the journal statements. And if you are just watching live, I saw someone else come on, the replay will be pretty immediate with the live videos. It doesn't take long to upload. It's one of the reasons I like them. I like to come and hang out with you live, but then also it's just immediately there. Oh, Des, makes sense. Thank you for being here. So exciting. And so if you missed the statements, just go back. I think they're about halfway through, or 2x. Sounds really funny. Just go through it really quick. But the statements, do them every morning as soon as you wake up and at the end of the chakra meditation, which you can find free on my website. If you are in the meditation course, you already have this chakra meditation. It's in your audio downloads. So don't feel like you need to sign up for anything else. You have it in your portal. I like to do that once a month. You can do it every day. You can do it every week, whenever you feel you need more time for yourself. Remember, in the beginning, if you don't have a lot of self-confidence, self-worth, self-value, the more often you do it, you're telling your brain, I'm prioritizing myself. And I know I'm repeating myself, but it's so important, because the more that we do this, the more it tells our brain, this is what we want, this is what we value, and it's going to raise. People talk about raising your vibrations. This is how you do it. Baby steps, one day at a time. I'm going to choose to prioritize myself today, this 30 minutes. Tomorrow, again, and again, and again. All right. So this Saturday will be a live Zoom yoga. We're going back to yoga, and then we won't go back to the chakras until next Tuesday on July 19th. We'll do the heart chakra and we'll pick up from there. So I'm so excited that you were here to join for the solar plexus. Let me know if you got anything out of this, if solar plexus is coming up for you. This was for sure my biggest chakra to work through in the beginning when I started doing all this healing work. It's a really important, powerful one. So thank you for being here, and I will see you Saturday or next Wednesday. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.